this road because I know it leads to you. No matter when, no matter what, I have a place to go. When you're by my side, I always know. When it's you and I'm always home. I'm always home. We walk this road, it takes us home where love is true. We walk this road because we know it makes us new. No matter when, no matter what, I have a place to go. When you're by my side, I always know. When it's you and I'm always home. I'm always home. No matter when, no matter what, I have a place to go. When it's you and I'm always home. When you're by my side, I always know. When it's you and I'm always home. I'm always home.
Boom, son.
Good job, babe.
Gravel, smoky, dark, mysterious. So the Dalton Highway is a mix of gravel and pavement. And honestly, I wish it was all gravel because the pavement is in such bad condition that I think it causes more harm than good. I mean, I'm sure there's some engineering that went into why they did that. But we just hit a pothole that was every bit of 8-10 inches deep. Sharp edge, just a hard hit. So I'm going to get out and just kind of check the tires and make sure they're all in good shape. Now, this isn't an over-dramatization. We've hit thousands of potholes on our travels over the years, but this one was different. We felt this one down to the bone and could tell Silver didn't like it either. Thankfully, there wasn't any apparent damage to the tires or the suspension at first glance, but let's just say you'll want to remember this incident as the story progresses. BFG's take a licking. Look at all that. Woo!
All good?
All good. While we were stopped, we figured it was just as good a time as any to throw a splash of fuel in the tank. We had bypassed the 2 fuel stops since Fairbanks, and while we were close to making it to Coldfoot, we didn't want to run the tank dry again like we did on the Dempster, which can increase the risk of premature fuel pump failure. We were carrying 22 gallons of extra fuel on this run, which on the one hand seems a bit overkill, but on the other could prove invaluable in a couple of situations. For example, you could arrive at a fuel stop only to find it empty and awaiting the next tanker truck, which isn't unheard of, and find yourself camping out in front of the fuel pumps waiting on the next shipment. The next example is in a medical situation or discovering a mechanical issue that forces you to turn around just before reaching a fuel stop. You could suddenly find yourself needing much more than a splash to get back south again. While 22 gallons isn't a requirement for the Dalton, it was one of those items we willingly chose to take since fuel mileage can drop to the single digits for us when towing a trailer through a couple inches of mud. I like to put it this way. It's only overkill until it isn't. No goldfish left behind.
Right.
Sometimes I wake up with the sadness, other days it feels like madness. So what would I do without you? When colors turn to shades of gray with the weight of the world at the end of the day, what would I do without you? A decade goes by without a warning, and there's still a kindness in your eyes. Amidst the questions and the worry, a peace of mind always takes me by surprise. I feel like I'm walking with eyes as blind as a man without a lantern in a coal mine. What would I do without you? My imagination gets the best of me, and I'm trying to hide, lost at sea. What would I do without you? The difference between what I've said and done, and you're still standing by my side. A guilty soul and a worried mind. I will never make it if I'm on my own.
So we were actually running on fumes even after putting in 4 gallons, so definitely want to carry some spare fuel. Just imagine if this place was out of fuel though, you'd be stuck. You'd be stuck right here until a truck showed up. So definitely things to think about. The road is incredible. You'll have a good stretch and then all of a sudden you'll come around a corner or come down a hill and bam, you're hitting these nasty potholes. At one point I just knew that we had blown all 3 tires on one side because the hit was so hard. But everything did good. The BFG KO2s, man, they just keep taking it. They're incredible tires. After topping off our tank at Coldfoot, we drove across the highway to the Arctic Interagency Visitor Center, which is managed by the BLM, National Park Service, and U.S. Fish and Wildlife. While some visitor centers can feel like an obligatory stop, we were surprised to find this one's really well done and informative. Spend a few minutes walking around and you can learn a lot about the Arctic and boreal forest. For example, did you know that all these conifer forests we've been driving through are part of the world's largest land-based biome known as the boreal forest? Did you know that the boreal forest wraps completely around the northern hemisphere and covers 14% of the Earth's land, which means it contains 33% of the Earth's forested land? Did you know it gets its name from Boreas, the Greek god of the north wind? Did you know that approximately 4 million people around the world live in the Arctic region of the Earth? And the name Arctic comes from the Greek word bear, or Arctos, not because of the polar bears, but because of the constellations Ursa Minor and Ursa Major in the northern sky. And finally, did you know they have Arctic patches here? Oh yes, the more you know. Now, you'll have to stop. It's an overlander's obligation to collect patches, right?
Your love is like a holiday, somewhere I can breathe. When I'm scared of who I can't be, you bring me sweet relief. I wanna take you somewhere, it's all I know to do. I need to feel your freedom. Come on, darling, say you will go north through the lights and watch the snow fall. East to the city, we can see it all. South to the ocean, west to the mountains. It doesn't matter where we go, as long as we're together. What we don't know won't stop us now. I'll take you anywhere but here.
Look at that. We gotta get over this pass. We gotta get over before this starts sticking.
Wow, that feels cold. Shirley, what's it doing outside?
Snowbird! After we get the casting, this can still snow.
This is crazy. This is awesome. This is awesome. Woo! And I so my. With the rain showers setting back in, we continued our journey north and began climbing in altitude as we made our way to the highest point along the Dalton, the infamous Atigun Pass. At 4,739 feet, this pass to the Brooks Range is located at the head of the Dietrich River and crosses the Continental Divide at mile marker 244. The 12% grades and unpredictable weather makes navigating this portion of the Dalton a bit of a challenge. Even in four-wheel drive, we felt our fair share of slippage on the ascent. You can see why this pass has claimed more than a few lives over the years. Atigun Pass is also prone to avalanches, and we pass multiple cannon mounts along this stretch that are used to manage the accumulation of snow on the sides of the mountains by creating controlled avalanches to ensure the pass stays open through the winter months. Needless to say, we were a bit excited to drive this portion of the highway with snow coming down and big fluffy flakes. While this is barely a taste of winter travel on the Dalton, it was still an amazing experience to encounter Arctic snow in August. This is what we do to get the shot. It's like deadliest catch. It's not so deadly.
We are at...
Not yet.
Galbraith.
Yeah.
Galbraith.
Okay.
And there's supposed to be a lake. Galbraith Lake.
Yeah.
And then a camp.
So we are at 2,700 feet right now, and it's snowing outside, guys. I don't know if you can see that, but it is snowing.
Alaska.
So about from here, it's going to be 140 miles to Dead Horse.
That's a good number. We can make that tomorrow.
140?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about 4 hours. Cruising at like 35 miles per hour.
Yeah, we can do that. So the deliberation right now, there's some bad potholes, is do we camp here
In the snow.
in the snow and 34 degrees, probably going to get down 28 tonight if I had to guess, and not necessarily have to deal with the rain, or do we keep driving in hopes of getting out of the snow and get closer to Dead Horse? So we're going to go down here and check out this campground, just kind of see what it's like, and then
Mama.
Just a minute.
then we'll make a decision from there. But it's not great weather no matter what direction we go at this point. With Atigun Pass behind us, it was time to find camp for the night, so we drove off the main road and made for the old Galbraith Man Camp. This abandoned camp was home to workers during the construction of the Alaska pipeline, but now hosts a free BLM campground complete with pit toilet and some of the best 4G LTE signal we've found north of Fairbanks. With snow still coming down and the evening slipping up on us, it was time for someone to get her taste of some Arctic snow and release some pent-up excitement before bedtime. You having fun? Huh?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Just playing some science football. Do you want to take some video of me holding the camera and watching me run?
Go for it. Good job.
How many does it have?
That was like 5 seconds.
It's a long, 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 long and winding road.
This wasn't. So we ended up staying at the BLM campground near Galbraith, I think is how you pronounce it. Could have kept on driving, but it's already, like 9 o'clock, and so we figured we might as well just camp out here and deal with the snow. At least it's better than rain for now. Hopefully it won't freeze the tent up and we can still close it down at a decent time in the morning. But I think we're about 140 miles from Dead Horse?
Yes.
140 miles from Dead Horse, so not a bad drive tomorrow. And then on Wednesday morning, we have a very interesting tour scheduled. So stick around for that. In the meantime, we're going to have a few snacks, snuggle up, kick on the buddy heater, and get some sleep.
Right here.
Our second day on the Dalton was so amazing and turned out to be everything we had hoped it would be. We couldn't wait for our final push to Dead Horse the next morning. But first, it was time to crank up the buddy heater, snuggle in for the night, and get some rest for the next day's adventure.